Now, you're a big dual threat quarterback, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that what you are?
Damn right.
Who is this?
Josh Allen, man.
No, it's not. It's the MVP of the league,
MVP,
man.
Josh Allen.
He's a real big dual threat now. But when I look at Joshua Allen, he went to the combine. What was he?
6'4".
What are you?
6'4".
How much did he weigh?
It's 237.
You guys are the same size, man.
Yeah, man.
So that's how big a guy you are.
Yeah. 26
career rushing touchdowns. You had an 80-yard touchdown run. 71. That's like Saquon Howard. What was this thing here against, is this TCU?
Yeah, this is a counter read right here. So we're running a little
This is what Jalen Hurts runs for the Eagles. What about this against Oklahoma State?
This is just pin and pull right here, baby. Make a little cut and it's off to the races.
This is one of my favorite plays of the season. I mean, look at all these Irishmen come after you right here. And it just opens up the back, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
I mean, how the hell do people not like you as the #1 quarterback in the draft? Didn't you win the national title?
Yeah, man.
What do you got to do? You're 6'5". You're like a young Josh Allen.
Whoa! Pump the brakes, Jon Gruden. This man just said that Will Howard could become the next Josh Allen. Are you kidding me? This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Will Howard declaring himself as the best quarterback in the 2025 NFL Draft. Remember, Will Howard just won a national championship for Ohio State this past season. Clearly, Will Howard is looking to make headlines for himself during draft season. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Where should Will Howard be drafted in the 2025 NFL Draft? I'm going to say that Will Howard should be a day 2 pick. Here's the definition of a day 2 pick in today's NFL. Will Howard is capable of being a top 64 NFL quarterback. However, I do not see franchise quarterback material in Will Howard. It's no disrespect to Will Howard. I just believe Will Howard does not have the decision-making skills necessary to last at the NFL level. Everything that Will Howard does screams NFL backup level quarterback, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. Nick Foles made a career out of being a backup. Ryan Fitzpatrick made a career out of being a backup. Josh McCown made a career out of being a backup. Will Howard is a very solid player. I liked watching Will Howard play at Ohio State. I thought he was a fairly productive player. However, when you watch Will Howard play, what really stands out about his game? There's nothing that really stands out about Will Howard. There's nothing that jumps off the screen that makes you say, wow, Will Howard is going to be an elite quarterback at the NFL level. That's why I don't consider Will Howard first round material. He can be a good player in the NFL if you put him in the right system, but he's not a game changer. He's not a game manager in the traditional sense, but he's more so of he's as good as his weapons and coaching system at the NFL level. He proved that in college football. There's a reason why Will Howard was not a game changer at Kansas State. However, when Will Howard transferred to Ohio State, he looked like a completely different quarterback. Of course, you're going to look really good though when you have Jeremiah Smith, Carnell, Tate, and Egbuka as your wide receivers. Holy cow. That's about the best wide receiver core a team could literally ask for in college football. Of course, he also had Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. Again, they're a very nice 1-2 punch. They had one of the best offenses in the country. Ohio State literally bought their entire offense. That's how good Ohio State's offense was. Therefore, Will Howard's job was fairly easy. I'm concerned about the jump Will Howard is going to have to make at the NFL level because obviously Will Howard is not going to be working with that much talent on the offensive end of the field. That's just not reality. Unless if he gets drafted to a team that already has stacked weapons at every position, he's just simply not going to succeed right away in the NFL. Will Howard might have the capability to be a high-end backup, but that's all I see Will Howard be. The guy does have a nice arm. He is athletic enough. His accuracy in the college football playoff was incredibly impressive. However, Ohio State was the number 8 seed in the college football playoff because of poor play at the quarterback position. Will Howard was a big reason why Ohio State lost 2 games in the regular season. He was a big reason why they lost against Oregon, where he lost all football IQ, especially during that 2-minute drill, and against Michigan, he absolutely sold that game with his poor decision making. I also want to show you guys this clip of Will Howard talking about how he believes he is the best quarterback in the 2025 NFL Draft. Honestly, I thought that it was rather delusional for Will Howard to say that, but hey, I gotta admire the confidence Will Howard has in himself. Again, I think Will Howard is a great guy. I just don't think he's going to be a great QB at the NFL level. Roll the film.
At the end of the day, I feel like my leadership, my my intelligence, and my arm strength. I believe in myself, man. It's not a knock to any of the other quarterbacks, but I think I'm the best. I feel like if you don't believe you're the best to come out this year, then why am I doing this thing, man? I'm confident. I believe I have what it takes to be a QB1 in the NFL, and whatever franchise takes me is not going to regret it.
You serious?
Okay, Will Howard, I gotta admire the confidence that you have in yourself. It's certainly admirable that you believe that you're the best quarterback in the 2025 NFL Draft. But if I was to sign off on that take, you guys would call me delusional. And that's certainly right, because that would be a delusional take. I want him to have a chip on his shoulder, but the reality of the situation is he's not the best quarterback in the 2025 NFL Draft. He's not even first round material. I believe that he is behind Shedeur Sanders, Jaxson, Quinn, Ewers, and Cam Ward. When you talk about the quarterback room in the 2025 NFL Draft, Will Howard is my quarterback 5 of this draft class. It's not an insult to Will Howard. It's just how I feel about his game in general. When you watch the tape of Will Howard, you have to say to yourself, is he an NFL ready prospect? And the answer to that question is no, he's not NFL ready yet. He also is not a freak athlete. Granted, he's an underrated athlete, but he doesn't have the skill set of a Lamar Jackson playing quarterback. To call him the next Josh Allen is absolutely crazy. It was a hot take made by Jon Gruden. I believe Jon Gruden was just saying that for clicks, because there's no way he actually believes that Will Howard is the next Josh Allen. If he does, then Jon Gruden needs to get drug tested immediately. When I watch Will Howard play, I'm going to give you guys 3 comparisons that I see in Will Howard's game, which is going to be his ceiling, middle ground, and floor. I'm going to start with his floor. I see a lot of Will Levis in this game in the sense that he's a bigger quarterback and that he's got a rocket for an arm. But the biggest flaw in Will Howard's game is decision making, just like Will Levis. It's one of the reasons why Will Levis has sucked at the NFL level. I also want to talk about his middle ground as well. I'm going to go with Daniel Jones for that one, because Will Howard is an underrated runner. He's got nice size at the quarterback position, and he has a nice arm. There's a lot of physical traits to like about Will Howard at the quarterback position, but again, you just kind of have to question about Will Howard's decision making. Obviously, Daniel Jones kind of struggled during his time with the Giants, but he did show signs of promise. And then, of course, his ceiling is going to be Blake Bortles. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I know a lot of people consider Blake Bortles to be trash, but he did lead the Jaguars to a championship game in 2017. Obviously, Blake Bortles was put in a perfect situation around him to succeed that season. I could see something like that happening for Will Howard. If you put a really good offense around Will Howard, he's going to be one of the better quarterbacks for that roster. Obviously, Will Howard is not going to be a game changer at the quarterback position, but is he capable of getting red hot for a few games? Absolutely. I believe Will Howard has the capability to be a long-time NFL veteran. He can be a 10 to 15-year NFL vet. He certainly knows his stuff when it comes to football IQ. I just kind of question his decision making because he's a little slow in the pocket when it comes to making decisions. For me, Will Howard is my quarterback 5, though. That's why I see his ceiling as a Blake Bortles type of ball player. His middle ground is probably going to end up being a Daniel Jones type of ball player, and his floor is probably going to be something along the lines of Will Levis. That's just the reality of the situation when you watch the tape of Will Howard. So that is why Will Howard should be considered a day 2 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, as Will Howard is my quarterback 5 of this draft class. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I'm gonna shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinAsTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinAsTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinAsTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.